Welcome back in Tech IVP channel. So Tech is now we are in the part of 10 in our SDET interview question series, and today we are going to discuss and learn these concepts which are presented on your screen. Okay, so let's start. But moving to next step, please like, share and subscribe this channel to get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview question. And also don't forget to share your opinion in the comment box. Okay, so let's start. The first one question is, what is test planning? Test plan is a document. Okay, first thing is, test plan is a document designed by the test lead, or you can say that manager, as per the product requirement or as per the product under test. Okay, and in the test plan, what we have to consider? We have considered scope, approach, resources and schedule of the testing activity. This document cover test strategies, objective of testing, exit or closure criteria, resource schedule planning, as well as test deliverables to be included. Okay, the next one is, what are the commonly used testing types across industries? Commonly used testing types is unit testing, API testing, integration testing, web service testing, security testing, automation testing are commonly used testing types across the industries. Okay, the next one, this one is a behavioral question. Okay, or a technical question, behavioral come technical question. Okay, what are the steps to follow when you discover a defect, when you raise any bug? So what kind of steps you can follow? Okay, so in that case, what you have to do, firstly you have to verify that bug is reproduced repeatedly or not. Okay, attach screenshot and some database logs or some backend logs. Okay, under the requirement, analyze deviation, expected output for the scenario. Okay, include scenario test cases. Scenario test is not covered. Okay, report bugs in the bug tracking system like Bugzilla or JIRA, whatever you are using in your organization. Okay, analyze the defect and the rank it is based on the severity. Important part, severity. We already discussed about the severity and priority. Okay, the next question is totally depends on the behavioral. Okay, what happened if there is some conflict between your team members? So in that case, how you can resolve this one? So in that case, what you can do, you can talk individually each person and note their concerns. Okay, find solution to common problem raised by the team members. Okay, arrange team meeting, reveal solution, ask people to cooperate. Okay, the next question is technical question. What is Charles Proxy? Charles Proxy is a tool. It is a tool. Okay, Charles Proxy is a tool. Okay, Charles Proxy is testing decrypting web traffic on the computer and mobile devices. It is a cross-platform HTTP debugging proxy server application that enable user to view HTTPS enabled TCP port traffic from and to local computer or mobile device. In addition, it is also record request response along with the HTTP header and metadata. Okay, it is a tool through which you can decrypt request and response of the services on your local computer. Got it? The next question is, what do you mean by code walkthrough? Code walkthrough is a kind of a meeting lead by the developer who build the code. Okay, and the purpose of this meeting is to just transfer knowledge or share knowledge to the new team members. Okay, this is called code walkthrough. But the next question is, what things to be considered while project monitoring? This question is for the project lead or TL. Okay, so in that once we are monitoring any project, so in that case, what we have to do? In that case, we have to, during the project monitoring, a manager responsible analyze all the tasks carried out as per the plan. Okay, due to these tasks, unforeseen consequence that may occur, what is the performance of your project team at the given time period? Any change in the project element desired, what could be an impact of process due to the changes? After all action, while will that lead to result? Okay, the next question is, what are the basic component of the defect report format? What are the basic component? Okay, so basic components are, the basic components are unique identification number. Okay, unique identification number through which we can identify the specific bug. Okay, product name, software product, project name, release version, product build and the model of the software where this defect was observed. Defect report will be have summary of the defect, description, and the steps how this step will be reproduced. Okay, steps of this product, defect. Okay, and what are the urgency of fixing this defect. Okay, name of the tester who has identified the defect, name of the developer to whom defect has been assigned to resolve, current status of the defect, whether it is still new, assigned, open, resolved, developer, under test, or it is under the QA, fixed or closed based on the bug life cycle. Okay, we already discussed about the bug life cycle in the part 7. You can go through this tutorial so that you can get better understanding what is the bug life cycle. Okay, what is the defect life cycle. Okay, the next question is list common pitfalls or mistakes that create issue in a project delivery. Okay, so there are some common mistakes and the pitfalls due to that project delivery getting delayed or something happens in the project delivery. Okay, so these are the assigning incompetent resource. Okay, incompetent resource to manage the project. Okay, lack of resource and skills, doing everything myself, project initiation startup is poorly managed, uncertain unclear objective, wrong estimation, failure of the managed scope desired project. Okay, over micromanaging. Okay, daily or weekly meets among team to update, understand progress, or not following the process. Okay, these are the few mistakes that may result in delay in the project delivery. Okay, the next question is what are the basic component of defect report formats are. We already discussed this one. Okay, what are the risk-based testing? The risk-based testing starts with the assessing risk related to the complexity of the logic, business criticality, defect prone area in the application, frequency of use of sensitive computation of application features. This involves priority of testing those area of an software that involves critical feature and functionality that are likely to fail. Such type of testing involves experienced testers that have understanding of the possible risk involved mission in the critical application is called risk-based testing. Risk-based testing means suppose you are testing a banking application. Okay, so it's a login page. So here what type of risk you have to be find out. So for this one you have to create all the possible scenario. What are the risk factor for this one? Okay, some URL manipulation, some SQL injections cannot be happen. Okay, some unauthorized person cannot be able to access the account. Okay, so these are the risk-based testing. Okay, positive impact of the risk-based testing are the opportunity to learn, improve business sustainability when you test application based on the risk involved. Okay, so this one is called risk-based testing. The next one is when is use decision table testing. It is a test design technique. It is a test design technique of the black box. Decision table is a black box test design technique. Okay, in which case we are using in the login page. And in the login page, if you have username and the password and only one submit button, username, password and submit button, you have 3 buttons. In that case what you can do, you have to create a truth table like this one. We already discussed this one. Okay, true, false, true, false. Okay, this is called decision table. What is proxy server? Proxy server acts as a gateway between your client machine browsers and internet, offering varying level of the security and good privacy form of the threat from hackers and protect data loss. Okay, proxy server makes your IP address, thereby gives the additional security. Okay, the proxy server helps you to protect you from the hackers. Okay, once a proxy to access those sites that are otherwise blocked, example your school library. Okay, your school library or accessing website back home while traveling abroad, posting comments on the website, keeping your identity hidden is called proxy server. Okay, What is test environment? Common interview question. Technical common interview question. Test environment. Test environment is a setting and software and hardware similar to that of a production environment in the order to execute test case and test scenario in order to test and verify features and functionality developed in software result and thereby check the quality of software, find defects application. Okay, what is test execution? Test execution means test execute. Okay, test execution begins as entry criteria that start during software testing lifecycle in order to verify application under test for any defect or deviation between actual and expected behavior of the application by following test types as per test cases and run application, find bugs. Okay, the next question is, what is the difference between test scenario, test case and test script? This is really common interview question. Most of the time, out of 190 times this question is asked by the interviewer. Okay, test scenario says that what we have to do. Okay, test case what we have done, and test script is called automation script. Okay, so all three terms are different. Got it? The next question, what all things you should consider before selecting automation tool for the AUT? Okay, suitability, skill required, ability, availability. Okay, availability of the resources that can understand technology used in the design script tools, price of the tools and implication of the project cost. So these things you have to be considered out for the AUT. Okay, next question, how will you conduct risk analysis? So to conduct risk analysis, in that case you have what you can do. To conduct the risk analysis can be conducted by analyzing testing methods and selection of the test and way in which it is carried out by testers, skills in identifying risk, prioritize their impact and create mitigation plan where appropriate in case of the risk become real issue. There are various aspects of project that impact risk such as estimation of resources and duration of the activities, schedule, cost estimation, budget, quality decision, either rent for the cloud services or procurement of the infrastructure. Got it? So in that way you have to be conduct risk analysis. So all the things you have to consider under the risk analysis. Okay, the next question is, how would you allocate responsibility to your team member? This one is your behavioral question for the TL. Okay, so that's why already I told you this tutorial is for the some kind of advanced level. Okay, firstly you have to clear your base level from 1 to 9. Okay, then come on this series. Okay, so that you get better understanding how the process is going on in the manual testing and what are the types of the question asked by the interviewer at the time of the interview. Okay, how would you allocate responsibility to your team member? So team member or test lead should allocate responsibility to team members to achieve the team goals. Roles and responsibility assigned to the team member based on his/her skill level, on the skill level, experience level and ability in such way that is increase his morale and motivation. Okay, what is Docker? This is a technical question. What is Docker? Docker describe themselves as an open platform for developer and sysadmin to build, ship and run, distribute application. Docker containers image is a standalone lightweight executable package that include code, runtime, system tools, library and setting required to run the software. This can be quickly deployed and run on different computing environment. Okay, what is ETL testing? Data warehousing. Already we discussed in the last tutorial. You can just go through this video. Okay, the next question is, what steps would you verify in case of desktop take too long startup? Okay, this one is a technical question. So how you can answer? In case slower Microsoft startup, then what you can do? First, disable startup program by observing the starting window task manager. Okay, running scan disk. Okay, check if hard drive space is insufficient. Okay, verify if computer is running with the corrupted, incorrect or out of data drivers, older version of Windows operating system environment. Okay, try clean system registry. Okay, try to remove temporary files. Okay, these steps you have to be follow. Okay, but this is not for the SDET role. This is a general question. This is a journal question. This one is a journal question. What do you mean by defect triage? This is important interview question, and this is technical interview question for the SDET. Okay, defect triage is a process of analyzing defect priority based on the factors such as severity, risk, and time required to fix resolve defect. During defect triage meet, stakeholders discuss and decide the priority of fixing the defect. Okay, is called defect triage. What is test harness? Important interview question. What is test harness? Test harness is a collection of test data. Test harness is a collection of test data, software, and scripts that are drive software to execute test case or steps in order to verify behavior. Output, test execution engine, and test script repository are two main part of test harness. The two main part of the test harness usually exist while unit integration testing. It involves stubs and drivers that require testing software models integrated component. Okay, is called test harness. And what is test bed condition? It is also called test bed condition. Okay, why software has bugs? So there is a common question. Why software has bugs? Software complexity, miscommunication, programming error, time pressure, changes in the again and again changing in the requirement. What is cause effect graph? Cause effect graph is a black box test design technique that represent graphically relationship between the outcomes and factor that affect outcome which is designed in the test case. Okay, is called cause effect graph. What are different strategies and what are different strategies for roll out to end user? So in that case, what we can do, firstly we can use pilot, okay, then gradual, then phased, okay, then parallel implementation. So 4 ways we have. Okay, first pilot. Actual production system is installed in a single or limited number of user. Pilot basically means the product actually roll out limited user of the work. Gradual implementation, it is a ship to entire product to limited user. Gradual, limited user but more than the pilot user. Okay, phase implementation. Firstly, phase implementation, product rolled out the user internally incrementally. Okay, that means each successive rollout has some added functionality, so as new functionality comes in, the new installation occur and customer test them progressively. Okay, parallel implementation. If we talk about the parallel implementation, in these type of the rollouts, the existing application is run side by side with the new application. So here is a case of basically about the test plan. This one is a question, one of the most common frequent question from the interviewer side. How will you build test plan for new app versus mature app? Okay, because right now see here app is new, okay, but this time app is matured. Okay, but once you are going to build a new feature in this phase, okay, so that time it is already matured app and you are aiming some new feature, you are building some new feature in this application. So this one is an important interview question. Okay, got it? The next question is, what are the error guessing and error seeding? Error guessing. First, we'll discuss about the error guessing. It is a test case design technique which tester have imagined the defect that might occur and write test case to represent them. Okay, error seeding. It is a process of adding known bug in the program to tracking of the rate of rejection and removal. It is also helps to estimate the number of fault remaining the program. Okay, it's called error seeding. Next question: how do you feel comfortable standing up to developer who disagree with your result? Okay, so this one is your behavioral question. So in that case, what you can do as a QA engineer, you have to go with the proper records. Okay, in some situations, reporting failure, duplicate process phrases, developers spend a lot of time on the some code does exactly meet specification, QA engine needs to able to stand up for the right with the right of the steps. Okay, are you willing to cut corner of the save time? Yes, definitely we can cut, but correct answer is no. Correct answer is no, because all test case needs to be run. Okay, and making assumption frequently leads to issue down roads, because a software quality tester is your duty to cover all the scenario of for the application for the test coverage. It may happen that in case some area of the test uncovered may contain error at the client side, and you can fall your face testing area. Okay, the next question, what is verification in software testing? Verification, the mean of verification is to confirm that. What is verification? Verification means retesting. Retesting means verification. Verification is the process of confirm that the design product delivered satisfies all the functionality expected to fulfill expected end user. In short, it is a test whether the product build is right or not. Okay, what is API testing? API testing is an integration test. API testing is integration test. Okay, that verifies that the application programming interface communication between two different systems and meet functionality, reliability, performance and security expected by the client. Various API testing tools, SOAP, UI, Postman and the rest assured. Okay, what is Postman? Postman is a tool. Okay, Postman is a tool. Okay, through the Postman you can test the REST API. REST, SOAP, GraphQL request. Okay, is an open source API client that send REST, SOAP, GraphQL request and used to test RESTful API that have been created. It is use, get, put, post, delete, patch. These are the method it can be used. Okay, other HTTP methods of the verify API, but generally we can use get, put, post, delete, patch. These methods we can generally use. Okay, what is REST assured? REST assured is a Java based library used to RESTful API and web service. HTTP response status, code status, message and header and the body of the response. What is a Cucumber? Cucumber is a tool that support BDD, behavior driven development, allowing expected software behavior specified logical language and customer can understand. This tool is developed using Ruby and Gherkin, which is format Cucumber specification. Cucumber is a tool. Okay, what is Capybara? Sorry. I'm so fluent. Okay, what is Capybara? Okay, Capybara is a web-based authentication framework used for creating functional tests that simulate how user would interact with your application. It supports Selenium, WebDriver, JavaScript, HTTP resource outside application used in running automate functions that test of the web applications. Okay, what is Salesforce? Salesforce is a cloud-based customer relationship management service designed to help you sell, service, market, analyze and connect with you customer. This is software that store customers contact information like name, address, phone number, etc., as well as keep track of the customer activity like website visit, phone number, email, etc. Okay, it's called Salesforce. Okay, what is testing? So tech is in the very first question we discuss about what is test, and now the question is what is testing. So both are the different thing. Okay, test is produce quality. Okay, and testing is a automating testing framework used to cover wider range of the test categories, unit, functional, end-to-end integration, etc., with more powerful, easy to use functionality such as use of annotations, parallel testing, etc., for application developed using the Java programming language. Okay, what is TeamCity? TeamCity is a continuous integration server. It is a continuous integration server. CI/CD. It is a CI/CD tool server that helps integrate the code build application in premise and the cloud. Okay, what is Gradle? Gradle is a build automation tool for multi-language software development. It helps compile, package, test, deploy application. Okay, what is framework? Framework is a set of rule. Okay, framework is a kind of protocol. It is a set of rule, but framework can be customized. Okay, some software framework are structured way in which certain type of the files are saved and particular folder, making uniform to use and search by end user development team. Example, Eclipse is an integrated development environment where various projects can be designed by keeping together compile code and the reference classes in such way that integrate taken care of the Eclipse. Okay, internally making developer free from integration of these files. Example, JavaScript framework, application framework, web framework, Ajax framework, whatever you want to be built in the framework can be customized, but protocol cannot be customized. Okay, so this one is the basic difference between framework and the protocol. Okay, the next question is, have you heard about the Teradata? So you can say that yes, Teradata is one of the relational database management system. It is nothing, it is a relational database management system suitable for the building large scale data warehousing application for large volume of the data used in telecom social platform like Twitter, Facebook, and the online marketplace such as Amazon, Flipkart, and other e-commerce sites. Okay, have you heard about the Hadoop is an open source framework or a collection of the software utility that stores data and runs application on the cluster, providing massive storage for any kind of data processing power and the limitless concurrent task. Okay, the next question is, have you heard about the Handsoft Agile Planning Tool? Handsoft Agile Planning Tool is provided single platform decision making and the project, program, and portfolio level can be extended to diverse and disappeared teams across the global for the various projects. Okay, what is JIRA and use of the tool? So JIRA is a project management tool, okay, in which you have to manage your project and track your issues. Okay, and created by the and built by the Atlassian. Okay, the next question is, what do you think our company could you do better? This is behavioral question. What do you think about yourself? So it totally depends on you. So I can't explain this one. It totally depends on you how you can answer this one. Okay, what experience do you have with the developing corner cases? The question will help you to figure out testing willingness to dig different case or scenario and might be intuitive cleanup upfront. Okay, explain any bug of the tracking tool. Totally depends on you. What is DevTrack cloud-based development? DevTrack is a cloud-based software development tracking software that keep connected with all the stakeholders, interact, communicate, and thus manage, prioritize, and track tasks and bugs during development lifecycle, create project, sprint, and user stories, and fly, view, and share real-time reports and data to analyze project status. Okay, so guys, these are the questions we reached on the 300 and in the part of 10th. So I hope you get understanding about the how you can crack the SDET tool interview question. So please stay tuned to get more amazing stuff about SDET tool interview question. Goodbye, have a nice day.